Hi there, Dave Crawford here again with my second pod on planning retirement. I'm going to talk about the new two-pot system because it's drawn a great deal of attention and to pension issues, and many people really don't understand what's going on. Now, I've received some questions, and I'd rather deal with the questions than just try and tell you absolutely every single thing. So the first question we got was, will all retirement fund members be better off now? And the answer to that is that that's the public message, but it's not entirely true. Not every member of a fund will be better off. If you do not intend to withdraw money before you retire, your situation will hardly change. There is a small rise in costs by the look of it, so it might be a little bit less, but it's going to be pretty much what it would have been if this had never happened. The improvement is that the retirement pot cannot be touched if you resign. The money must stay in that pot until you retire. And that applies to people who would normally take the cash every time they resigned and have nothing quite a lot of the time. Can money be taken out before retirement? Well, this has been the main reason for this hysteria. The new system is designed to allow smallish cash withdrawals once a year. This is before retirement. Of course, if you withdraw money before you retire, you'll run down your capital. And not only do you lose the money that you've taken out, but you lose the growth on that money that would have taken place if you hadn't taken it. Is retirement planning still necessary? Very much so. Retirement planning must not stop. If you take cash out before retiring, you're only going to need to save more if you want a decent retirement, because with money there are no miracles. And we are now living longer than we did before, so you need more money in retirement. So taking cash from your retirement actually makes the situation worse. Who benefits from this? Well, the people who would otherwise have resigned and taken their cash benefit in the sense that their money is going to stay put. The state benefits because SARS is getting a huge amount of tax. And when you do withdraw, you pay tax at your highest rate on withdrawals. So SARS has already collected a fortune in tax. And by the way, if you owe them money and you ask for a withdrawal, they will try to collect what you owe them before you get anything. Pension fund administrators will also charge you for administering any withdrawal. And these guys don't work for nothing. Just bear that in mind. So you need to understand this system as it might affect you at some stage. And so very briefly, people who were members of pension funds before the 1st of September this year, that's 2024, will have 3 separate accounts or pots. And these are 1, the vested pot, 2, the savings pot, and 3, the retirement pot. If you joined a pension fund after the 1st of September or from the 1st of September 2024, you'll only have 2 pots. 1 is the savings pot and the other is the retirement pot. Now, your statements of account will be different. That's your benefit statements, because they will now have 2 or 3, depending on which category you fall into, separate entities. They will look different, but please understand that all you have to do is to add the whole lot up to all 3 of them together, or all 2 of them together, or both of them, and they will tell you what your total fund actually amounts to. So it's just a different presentation. It's nothing to worry about. What is the vested pot? Well, if you were in a fund when this, as at the 30th of August, your money goes into what is called a vested pot. Vested means it's yours, okay? Your own money. Your new contributions won't go into that fund, but that fund will continue as it did before. It'll grow the same way. You can retire from it the same way. If you want to resign, you can take your cash out the same way. So nothing much changes there. So what about the savings pot? Well, the idea was that to ease people's financial pressures, it would be nice to allow them to take money out before they reach retirement age, so they don't have to wait. So after August 2024, 1/3 of all your new investment savings will be paid into the savings pot. That's 1/3, but they will be invested in the same way as the money in the other pots, so no change there. You may withdraw money from the savings pot before you retire once every tax year, and then you may not claim for less than 2,000 Rand. Bear in mind, if you don't withdraw money from this pot, it will stay there and grow until you reach retirement age. Or you can defer it, withdraw it 10 years later if you like, before retirement. It won't disappear if you don't withdraw it, and it will be available to you when you retire. I've heard people saying, use it or lose it, as they do in the rugby scrum. But no, that's not true. It stays there. Now, there was a special arrangement for people with vested pots, and that meant that an amount of money equal to not more than 10% of the money in the vested pot, or a maximum of 30,000 Rand, would be transferred to the savings pot so that everybody who'd come from an old fund could get at least something out. Remember, not more than 30,000 Rand. Tax and expenses would be deducted before you get paid out. Well, everybody's having fun with that. If you are new to this, if you joined a fund after the 1st of September, or on the 1st of September, you won't have a vested pot. You won't be able to withdraw until there's enough money in the savings pot to allow you to take 2,000 Rand out. So you're going to have to wait for that. The third pot is called the retirement pot, and 2/3 of all your new investment savings will be invested in that pot. And there it will stay until you retire. And in this country, you can't retire before age 55. In all three pots, your money will be invested to grow as best possible. And at retirement, if you have withdrawn nothing at all from your savings pot before retiring, you'll be better off than if you'd made any withdrawals. When you retire, lump sums taken in cash at retirement will be taxed as they were in the past, with the first 550,000 available tax-free, another 220,000 taxed at 18%, the next 385,000 taxed at 27%. Anything else you take in cash will be taxed at 36%. Now the question is, how much of your pension fund will you be able to withdraw in cash when you retire? And that's going to be not quite as simple to work out as it was in the old days when you just said 1/3 cash, 2/3 kind of pension fund, because now you've got three different funds. And if people have emptied everything out of their savings fund before retirement, obviously the money that's available will only be 1/3 of the money in the vested pot, not 1/3 of the total. So the administrator has got to tell you how much cash will be available when you retire. Not difficult for them, because their accounts should show it fully, but they should set that out for you in writing so you will know what you do. Bear in mind, when you retire from a pension fund, there's a certain amount of money in the fund. What you take out in cash means you can't use it to pay for a pension, and often that means that your pension is going to be less than it might otherwise be. So think very carefully before you take too much out in cash. A, because it's tax, and B, because it might be handy to have a better pension. Will retiring from a pension fund be difficult under the new system? Short answer is no. Okay. Once you know how much cash you can take out, then it's easy enough to work it out. But please bear in mind that there's no necessity to take all the cash out, because the balance must go into a pension. So the less you take in cash, the bigger your pension will be. The third pod will be the first of three that explain our system of planning to you. And setting practical goals is the basis of all planning, and this is what we discuss. Transcripts of these talks and a glossary of terms are available on request for nothing. Any questions, suggestions, or comments from you are always welcome. Our email address is info@planningretirement.co.za. I repeat, info@planningretirement.co.za. Our website is www.planningretirement.co.za. And cheers until the next podcast. This is Dave Crawford signing out.